All right, guys, this is that time we're going to step in the ring with the greatest faction in podcast history. Just Freak Wrestling, the JFW Podcast, hosted by Travesty.
And Illinois' most hated wrestling fan, Steve Doris.
We got to work on that, man. You got to come in sooner. You got to come in sooner with that stuff,
I'm sorry.
Man. I know. I get that, you're not used to it. This is like the first official podcast where you're not being surprised in. You're actually starting with the show. So we're going to have to work on that.
Right. I'm learning. I didn't get no training. I assumed I would have got some training this new job I'm on.
No.
I'm used to having training.
No. You ever watched the movie Hondo with John Wayne?
No, never was a big John Wayne fan.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a scene in Hondo where he's fishing with this girl's kid. And he was telling the kid, like, the best fishing is on the other side of the river. You need to go over there into the shade. And the kid's like, I can't swim. And John Wayne's like, what'd you say? Kid's like, I can't swim. So John Wayne took the pole out of his hand, just threw him in the fucking river. He learned pretty damn quick.
That's basically what you're doing with me. You're just throwing me in the river.
I'm John Wayne, bro. Yeah, swim. I didn't give Dizzle J or Dally any training. It just kind of jumped right into it. Hell, I didn't get any training.
Oh, trust me. You can tell they don't have no damn training. And speaking of them too, I listened to the show you released yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Got some issues with y'all. Your aid, I know this is the indie show, but we're going to have to touch on mainstream for just a few minutes.
Yeah.
Your AEW guy sank. He was drowning. First of all, it's not the IGWP US heavyweight title. It's the IWGP, the International Wrestling Grand Prix Champion.
There we go. See, but I didn't know that either, man.
I know. You're on that. You're on the list.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
And All In was not under the AEW banner. All In was in 2018. It was promoted as an indie show. Ring of Honor pretty much, did all the lighting, the ring, all the camera. Unfortunately, they were dumb not to get their name on All In and call it Ring of Honor Presents All In.
Yeah.
Those are some things that your AEW guy needs to understand. It seems like he's not watching the show. I don't know.
I gotta say though, I figured you'd be more offended by the stuff Dally said than Dizzle J, but I do respect your professionalism on going after his work and not what she was kind of saying about you.
Oh, I was going to touch on that next.
Oh, were you? Oh,
first of all, I think there's a little bit of jealousy there. She says, she wants to be on the indie show. You're on the main show. Second of all, whining because she wants to go to wrestling events. Mm-hmm. That's horrible. Get a job. Ask your dad for some money. Go get a lemonade stand. Jeez.
Well, to her credit, she does work for Southland Championship Wrestling. It's one of those things where I know this was going to be a tricky situation with bringing you in and being new and everything. And, I know the worry for them was like, oh crap, are we being replaced? And that's not the case. I want us to all work together as kind of like a family. I think we'll get there. It's like when you bring a new puppy into the house and the other dogs just don't really get along with him quite yet. But over time, you guys will be homeward bound.
Or the other dogs start urinating and shitting on the floor to mark their territory.
Well, I don't shit on my floor, so that's why.
Well, if you listen to their part of the podcast, they were shitting on the whole damn floor.
They were.
They're taking their ass and scrounging around like they had ass itch or something. Their hind legs up and their ass on the floor.
Well,
anyway.
It's going to take time for us to kind of get all situated and work together and everything. I know we're discussing that our plan is to head out to Phoenix Pro Wrestling.
Right.
Oh, God, I can't remember the date. June 4th, I think it was.
September 4th.
September 4th, yeah.
June's already over, man.
Yeah, 2022. September 4th, I think that's our plan. I think Dizzle J and Dally might go with us. Not quite sure. But it's like I explained to them, it's like they're more than welcome to come on the indie show anytime they want, but they have to contribute to the indie stuff as well, which means going to the shows and getting a hold of companies and stuff. You mentioned to me earlier before we started recording that 2 more matches were announced for SCW. So already you're doing a lot of work that I just can't get out of the others. So
see,
and I love the
the
others.
two matches. Oh, yeah, I mean, the two matches they announced I've seen they released was Ivan Manson versus Tiny, who looks like Charlie Jr.'s dad. Just, second match is that Rick Raid versus Scott Spade. Kind of a little rhyme there.
I like that.
The Raid versus the Spade.
Now, if I'm trying to remember, Tiny is like that manager of Spade.
He's Scott Spade's manager.
Gotcha.
So you can already see that these matches are going to intertwine somehow. They're going to.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that a couple of shows ago, Scott Spade said something about, we're invading here. With that, I personally think POW Entertainment from up north in Fox Lake that Jimmy Blaze owns,
yeah,
I think there's going to be some type of invasion going on. I'm not sure, but I truly think that's what's happening.
Well, I mean, we did see an invasion happen between SCW and ARW, and it's kind of like when it comes to the ACW and WWE. Like when you are a top promotion in an area, people want to they in a sense they want to associate with their name, but at the same time they want to challenge you. It's like prison. You find the biggest dude and knock him out. So
that's true. Or you go and steal his lunch, and
that's right. So,
but
I mean, I get it. Go ahead.
Like JPH is going up the POW on August 6th of the title versus title.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be, it's going to be interesting to see what goes. I was looking at my schedule to go up there for that, but being a Friday night all the way to Fox Lake, that's, that would be a hell of a trip on a Friday night.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a long journey on Saturday when we head up to Powerhouse Wrestling.
No. I said we can work out the legit,
Yeah.
Because you got a truck, big guy like me, you got a truck, right?
Yeah, I could throw you in the bed if it makes you more comfortable.
Oh, no. I don't know if I'm going to travel with your partners that long, but well, actually, I do, because the reason I do is that's education time. I'm going to take them to school that night, all the way there and all the way back. The first class of Steve's wrestling education. First thing we're going to do is discuss how to pronounce title belts, championships, straps, whatever you want to call them. We're going to break down the names.
What's your go-to term for it?
What's I would say championship belt, title belt.
Title belt?
Yeah, I don't, you want to call, I know the, lingo straps, but I say title belt, championship belt.
Yeah, I know.
It is a belt.
Yeah, and I know, obviously, just kind of learning more about pro wrestling, especially when it comes to WWE. Like Vince McMahon has a set of words that you're just not allowed to say, and on that list is strap and belt. Because it's like even Bruce Pritchard said, it's like, he doesn't like the term belt because it's not a belt, it's a championship, and stuff like that. I like the term title, but
that comes from the days of, I think he wants to get away, the days of the Southern wrestling. Yeah. He wanted to get away from that. Yeah. But there you go. You're getting off the indie topic again. We got to stay, I know
here. It is. And we actually got to get right into the main focus of today's show, which is that interview we did earlier this week with Evil Gainsevil. I know we mentioned on the last show that it was something we were planning on doing as soon as possible, and it turns out as soon as possible was 2 days later. So we're already making things happen here on the independent episodes of JFW. So we're going to dive into that here. You guys are going to get an opportunity to, if you haven't already, meet Mr. 3% Jon Hudson, the evil genius Arron Xavier. For those of you who are SCW fans, ARW fans, you know Jon Hudson. Well, you said they we actually said in the interview they wrestled Crash Test, right?
Yeah, they were. Hudson had a few matches with even Jake Andrews over there that were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're reviving. What I've seen is they're reviving Crash Tested. And I know some mainstays, I think Arron Xavier and Jon Hudson, are not happy about it. I didn't get a chance to ask them that night, but because the focus was getting the SCW fans to know who they are.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So
yeah, and that was a weird thing too, so we kind of sat down and talked to them about, the formation of the tag team, their history getting to this point. We talked a little bit about we kind of spoke about the same stuff, very similar to what they talked about in the last interview they did, just in a more professional way because, JFW is a professional podcast as compared to others. I'm not going to say what they are because they may be a little bit more powerful than I am in a sense. So
that's that politicking or politica-dicking. I don't know.
Yeah, politicking.
I don't know what they take over there in the Power Hour. They're taking something.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
It's okay though, because I haven't heard from Steve yet, and obviously all the things we've been saying about him, I guess he really doesn't care. So I'm okay with that though. I don't want him listening to my show. I'd rather intelligent people listen to the show. I'll say that.
Don't let Dolly and Dwight Dizzle listen to it.
Dwight. Fourth wall that shit, man. Okay. So let's dive into the interview and everything so people have a chance to actually sit down and enjoy that part of it. And then when we come back, we're going to kind of update everyone on the match cards for SCW's upcoming show. And I don't think I got really anything else to add before we start, right?
No, I don't have nothing more to add.
All right, cool. Let's bring you guys the interview that me and Steve did with Evil Gainsevil, Jon Hudson, and Arron Xavier. All right, guys. I promised months ago that we're going to do this. It's finally happening. We're sitting down with Evil Gainsevil, Mr. 3% Jon Hudson, and the evil genius Arron Xavier. Guys, thanks for the opportunity to sit down with JFW and talking with us. Appreciate that.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, and I do apologize ahead of time. I guess I never really informed you guys that Steve, my new co-host, is going to be here. So hopefully, John, that's not that big of a deal for you because I know you guys haven't really got.
We're not by each other, so it's going to be okay.
No, it's all good. It's a computer screen. Nothing bad can happen with a computer screen.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, with his hood up, it seems like he's ready to rumble or some shit over there. So. But so to try to set this all up and talk to you guys and everything, I tried to do some history and some research to look up at you guys, get an idea of who you are. And I don't know if it's just like my lack of tech capabilities or what, but I can only learn so much about you guys, but there's really no history for me to kind of like read about. So I want to start with Arron just because you are fairly more new to me as a wrestler coming into SCW. So just a quick recap of your career. Where did you start out at and how did you get into wrestling?
Well, I got into wrestling same way most people end up getting into it. They like wrestling. It's the big thing with me is there was a wrestling school that was 15, 20 minutes down the road. I wanted to go to wrestling school. My dad wanted to send me to college. So he made the deal that if I got a scholarship, he would pay for my wrestling school. Lo and behold, I happened to be able to hit a curveball and throw the ball 90 miles an hour. I was a pretty good baseball player. So things worked out. So, that was the deal. He paid for my wrestling school. I, went down the road, was the Wild Samoans Wrestling Academy in Whitehall, Pennsylvania, before they moved to, down to Florida where it's nice and warm and not shitty weather half the year. And, that was really it. It's, I did that. I went and did my college thing, wrestled when I could. I'd come back, wrestle when I could, train when I could. And, there's really not a whole lot to talk about from the early stages there. It was just sort of all a blur between baseball and wrestling. And then I got out here and got the itch again. And most people around here, most of the people that are going to be fans of SCW or, watch your show, they're going to know me from places like Dreamwave. I was a, big part of Dreamwave for years. CSW in Chicago, big part of there for years. Crash Tested Wrestling, which is where me and Jon first became familiar, so to speak. As most people know by now, the last 3 years of that company, when we were firing really fast, I was the one running the company. I was the one writing the shows, booking the talent. And so that's where most people are going to find me or know who I am.
Okay. Yeah, and I did kind of catch a couple of the matches from Crash Test that you were in. A lot of them are actually available on YouTube. And the announcers in there, not in just one or two, but like multiple matches that you were in, referred to you as the measuring stick for Crash Test. Like if somebody wanted to make the name for themselves, they had to go through Arron Xavier.
Yeah, that was early on, especially, it was, we'd bring in new talent, and it was, they say it sort of just became, if it was somebody new, I'd be the one that wrestled them at first. I think Jon might have been the lone exception because first time I brought him in, and I think that's because I couldn't stay at the show. I had a double shot that night, so I put him in the ring with somebody else. Gotcha.
Well, yeah, and that was one thing too, because I kind of tried looking up both of you guys in the ring together, and I couldn't find that.
There's one segment that we are in the ring together. It was the actual formation of the ARC when you guys beat up Justice Jones and we put him through the chairs.
All right, I want to find that video because that sounds. What is ARC?
That was the original group. That was the original group we had in CTW. At the time, I had some neck issues going on. I needed shoulder surgery, so I was stepping away. And what I wanted to do at that time was use where I was put at, the sort of give some newer people the rub to get people in the spot because I'm not going to be there. Okay. And so Jon was brand new, and Jon had expressed to me his desire to be a heel. He wanted to be the bad guy. Nobody had ever just let him be Jon fucking Hudson. And so I was like, all right, the whole idea was, all right, I'm going to put a couple guys in there with me and C-Red at the time. And with the whole understanding that 3 months later, when I go away, Jon was going to be in my spot. Mm-hmm. And it didn't end up that way because unfortunately Jon was so good. He started getting organically turned in the wrong direction. But I don't want to stay on the CTW thing too long because every time I think about that place, all I think of is the missed opportunities we had to do something really cool. And so
I got you. And then Jon, if I remember correctly from at least what I've heard, you didn't start in the Midwest, you started in California, correct?
Correct. Yeah, okay. I started in Southern California. I was 18, turning 19 years old. Started at UPW, Ultimate Pro Wrestling, with the Ballard brothers. These two Canadian twins. Yeah, but they're great trainers. They're unbelievable trainers. They taught me give, take, positioning, how to protect my opponent, how to protect myself.
Yeah.
It was awesome. They never really taught me how to work, though. So from there, I shipped out to North Carolina and trained at High Spots with George South. Mm-hmm. That was very old school training, extreme old school training. Ran out of money, went back home, and then from there I went to Tampa, Florida, and tried to get into FCW when WWE was still there. Gotcha. I got in the door. I got an interview, but I wasn't big enough at all. That's pretty much what they told me. But I stayed in Tampa and just did little shows around the place. And one night in Tampa, my upstairs neighbor, who was also a wrestler, invited me to a TNA show in Orlando. Got to the show, and I met a man by the name of Angel Armani, who lives in Milwaukee. And he's a wrestling trainer. He trains people. He's trained people from CM Punk to, I don't want to say all of CM Punk, but helped. Austin Aries, Silas Young, Juice Robinson. He has a really good resume. And for about a year, after I ran out of money in Tampa, moved back home, I was living in my car. And for about like a year, he would text me every day, like, if you want to learn to work, get out to Milwaukee. I finally hit him up saying, I have no money. I don't have anything. He's like, look, if you get out here, you can live with me. I'll train you for free. Just get a job, pay for your food, and clean up after yourself. got rid of everything, made it out to Milwaukee. That was the best decision I ever made, because ever since I made it out to the Midwest, things were just going. And that was 2014, and then 2017 rolls around, and I meet Arron Xavier. And when I started to do the Dr. Gaines gimmick, the promos I was cutting were pretty spot on. Everything I was doing was pretty good. And I haven't said this yet, but some of my ideas I would get from Aaron.
Yeah.
I would say, this is what I'm going to say in this promo. What do you think? And he would say, well, why don't you say this instead? And make it sound that much better. So he kind of had a little bit to do with the Dr. Gaines thing going on. And he's also the evil genius. Me and him on a microphone. That's money.
Yeah.
And we just always shot this idea back and forth for years. And I pitched it to a few promotions. Nope. He's pitched it to a few. Nope. It's just the paths never cross until
wow.
Yeah, the problem is with guys. The problem is with guys like me and John, and everyone knows me and John are very outspoken people. Is you tend to chap a few asses when you just say what's on your mind. And it seemed like every place we pitched it, I was either sort of viewed in a negative light as the place, or John had said something stupid to another place, and it was never a place where somebody just looked at it without a personal view and just looked at the talent and the idea and said, "Oh my God, that could be really fucking cool."
Yeah.
And SCW was the first place to say, you know what, let's give it a go.
Yeah, and that was one thing I did kind of notice. Well, especially like looking again, and this is looking back at like some of the videos of your guys' matches back in the day, but even like recent 2019, 2020, and stuff like that. Like your guys' match style is pretty similar. It looks like you guys wrestle a very similar kind of way. Even your promos sound like you guys have the same cadence in the way you talk. Especially like looking at some of your promos back in the day, Aaron, that you did a Crash Test, but even John, when you had like that feud with James Creed, and you did the promos through Facebook, and you guys were talking, and you even hit like not so much in the business, but more like shoot style, talking reality, being serious, being real. So what I guess like my question is like, where's the psychology in it to where you want to be more real in the way you conduct your promos rather than being in the business and doing those like kayfabe gimmicky kind of promos? Like how do you decide that at that point?
This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not a fact, just my opinion. It's professional wrestling. The fourth wall has already been broken.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. You know, this is entertainment. This is show business.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, this is show business, people. And I heard you say shit, so for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, you can swear here.
Okay, we're grown ass men. Like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot on you a little bit, but fuck, I hope you shoot on me too, because then the sheep that watch are gonna go, oh shit, that was kind of fucked up what he said, and then when they see the next promo that you cut, they're gonna be like, oh, dude, we got to go to this. I don't know if this is a shoot or not.
Yep.
It how do I say this? It's the only, and especially in today's world, because everyone knows everything now.
Right.
It's like the only opportunity I feel I have to bring people my age or people watching back to that feeling I had when I was a kid, when I saw Bret Hart put Stone Cold in the sharpshooter and blood was dripping down, and I actually thought that came from a chair shot. You know. Just like this. I think that, you know, if you I like shooting in the promo, but you can only go so far. You know, if there's like a death in the family, you don't want to bring that up, or someone has cancer, or like, you know, like You don't want to bring up sexual orientation or nationality or anything like that. But like, if it's something kind of funny, you know, bring it up. Or if it's like, you know, you're a little boy, I'm a grown ass man, bring it up. And I even told that to James, and I'm like, yeah, come back with something good. And he did. I liked his promo. So, you know, make it believable.
They were
Draw
good.
the crowd in. Our first match of 3, the crowd, they were there, but they were into it, not really. The next time we wrestled, the crowd was bigger by 44 people.
Yeah.
The next time we wrestled, that 2 out of 3 falls match, the crowd was bigger by about 56 people.
Mm-hmm.
You get engaged. And I honestly think you have to kind of do a little bit of that to get them engaged. But
that was one thing I did kind of like. Oh, go, Aaron. You're gonna say something.
I was just gonna say, you know, I only do it because I'm willing to take it.
Yeah.
It's there's an art form to it. It's yes, while the fourth wall has been broken for years. Nobody has doubted that. At the end of the day, it's not about purposely just ignoring the fourth wall, but it's also not treating the fan like they're too stupid to realize it. To me, it's all about getting people to suspend disbelief. They all know what they're seeing as a show. But to me, it's, you know, it's like for me, the whole evil genius, this, that, and the other. I had other gimmicks that were just that. They were just characters. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, you know, somebody sat me down and we were talking, and that's how the whole thing for what I'm doing now. They're just like, look, it was like when you have a few glasses of scotch, you are the biggest cocky asshole I've ever seen in my life. Why don't you just be that? Why don't you just be that guy? Just turn the damn volume up. And so that's where that started. And to me, it boils down. It's real easy to explain. There's an old quote from Jimmy Valiant where he used to tell people, "Is like, I can't make you believe wrestling's real, but I can make you believe I am."
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get you to buy into everything, but if I can get you to believe, look at everything, it's like, okay, this, and this. I know this isn't real, but then they look at me as like, but I'm not sure if that's not. You know, that gets somebody to suspend their disbelief. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what it is. I'm not trying to get you to believe all the smoke and mirrors, but if I can get you to buy in the fact that I'm real, then I've already won. I've already won the battle.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I think the interaction between Jon Hudson and James Creed is kind of the perfect example of maybe one of the things that wrestling today is kind of missing. Like I did go to wrestling school back in the day, and I was trained by Mike Nolan, Jay Jensen, the Tomaselli brothers, and I remember.
And you're still walking.
Yeah, dude, I remember there was something in the interview you guys did on the Power Hour where, John, you were talking about all these burpees and stuff you did.
500 Hindu squats before I can even get in the ring.
Yeah, to this day, I hate burpees. Burpees is like the bane of my existence.
I don't do them.
I won't do another one as long as I live.
No.
I was not a big fan of it. I remember there was one day I was setting up a show in Frankfurt, and somebody from the school forgot to pick up a photographer from the train station. And because one person messed up, everyone got punished. And I remember like an hour and a half, we had to stand around the ring and do squats for like 45 minutes or an hour and a half or something like that. Just straight number squats. And like, it didn't matter if you're tired, didn't matter if you're sore, 45 minutes or whatever, you keep doing squats, which sucked. I mean, it helped in the sense of like, you know, it helps your, you know, obviously wrestling to build your leg muscle. Sucked. And it just pissed me off because all I kept thinking is like, I didn't forget the guy. This person forgot the guy. But it's also that whole team aspect of one person screws up, everyone screws up. But
yeah.
But
we have to do them because we were told that our legs will give out before our brain gives out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So make sure your brain gives out before your legs give out because your opponent can tell you what to do.
Yeah, and I think that but I think it's one of those. I think that stuff from back in the day is what's kind of missing, like even now, and
totally.
And I saw that growth with James, and it's like even beyond the fact that he had the opportunity to wrestle you, and you are one of the better talents I've seen between ARW and SCW. You have so much go in you.
Thank you very much.
Like even during the whole SCW ARW feud, like I was an ARW guy, and for two reasons: you and Max Holiday, huge fans of both you guys.
Thank you.
Still am to this day. I still think Holiday's the best SCW heavyweight champion because he held it 3 times over 400 days. I'll say it, Steve. Shake your head all you want, man.
Here we go.
But it's like you said with the promos. Like when Creed did his first promo on you, it was very gimmicky. Doing this crosshairs thing, the burst of verbiage that he used and stuff to try to get like that excitement over.
Yeah.
And then you kind of came back and like you shut him down, but not in a way to where it buries him, but in a way where it's like, like let me light this fire under your ass so you could do more. And then he did. And then it kept going back and forth until it kept building. And I think that's what brought that emotion into the match. That's where
it did. As a fan, I looked forward to those promos.
Yeah.
And that, as a fan, even if I had something going on, I would not have went because I had to see that last match.
Yeah, and definitely, I will say, not all because of the promos, they helped, but the last match I had with Creed, the 2 out of 3 falls, you can definitely, there was something different in the air that night, as they say.
Oh yeah.
You can definitely feel the tension. You can feel the electricity. You can feel everything. And I've never said this before, but all the stars aligned perfectly on that night.
Yeah, which it was even the 2 out of 3 falls it was weird at first, but I liked how different it was and the fact that you guys kind of did it backwards.
Difficult.
Yeah, it's like one of the things difficult. And we've mentioned it.
I still didn't like it.
I talked about it on my podcast when it was announced that the first match was a hardcore match, and the only question I had was like, where the hell do you go from there? Like I mean, you could only do so much, like especially in independence. It's not like you could just drop a cage from the top of the, from the ceiling at whim just to make something more exciting. I mean, obviously, if you walk into, the Shaban Civic Center and you see a cage above the ring, you're like, oh shit, there's gonna be a cage match. It's so like when they said hardcore match, like, okay, well, what the hell do you do next? Okay, submission match. Okay, it seems like it's going down. Hopefully, it keeps the crowd engaged. And then the singles match is like, but the thing is, even though you guys did it backwards, you kept everyone engaged. And I think it was all the added stuff that was put into it that kind of made it more special. Creed's dad interfering, Arron coming out. It was the unexpected that happened. And I think the experience from you, I think, showed a lot in that match. I'm just assuming. But at the same time, Creed has the ability to be a great single wrestler. Obviously, he was a tag team wrestler. He former ARW tag team champion, just like you were. But you guys are kind of like now flip flopping. You're going from being a singles competitor now into a tag team, where he's going from a tag team now into a singles. And that match was actually your last match before you went into Ev's neck surgery. Real quick, how's that go?
It was going really bad. Now it's going really good. So I had my C6 and C7 replaced right there in my neck, in the bottom of my neck. I was told 6 weeks. It just kept 6 weeks went by, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. Kept feeling a little bit of pain. Went back in for an MRI. They found a fracture going across my C6 that I must have gotten during surgery or something happened after surgery. Just a compression fracture. So yeah, you can say I broke my neck on top of the surgery and everything. Was it last week? Yeah, last week I went in for an MRI on Wednesday.
Yeah.
To check it out. Thursday, I got the clear. So I'm in the clear. I got the go. I just got to build that back up. And I need to get in the ring. I got to get in the ring and take a couple bumps and just see how it feels. But other than that, I got the go ahead pretty much.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Arron, Rockin' Wrestling at Steam Hollow earlier June. You had an opportunity to wrestle James Creed.
Yeah.
So that was the first match I saw live of yours. I don't know how many matches you had because of COVID and stuff and everything like that, but how did it feel to wrestle at Steam Hollow, how to feel to wrestle James Creed, because that's a different venue, at least for SCW perspective. So
it's with somebody like Creed, I'm not even gonna lie. It's like you could tell going in, like watching his matches with Jon, that there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've seen that with a lot of young guys over the years. I mean, I've been doing this over 20 years now. But after being in the ring with them, you get an idea of just how far ahead of the curve he is. Something that nobody knows about outside of the locker room is halfway through that match, I got a concussion and couldn't remember anything.
Really?
And how many guys with as little experience of like number of years as Creed would be able to then turn around and play full veteran and get you through a match?
Yeah. So real quick,
it's a third of the way. I don't remember anything from about a third of the way in to the end.
Okay, because for obviously Steve, you weren't at the match, you weren't at the show.
No.
But even though the match ended, that wasn't the end of everything that you dealt with, because Hunter came out.
Yep, don't remember it. It's like, I take that back. I remember it because I've seen it on tape, but I have no recollection of doing any of it.
See,
at that point, I was on autopilot.
See,
I cut a good promo and not even knowing I was cutting a promo, though. Right. It was pretty funny.
I know that's what's blowing my mind right now, is because like I know you're not lying to me, but it sounds like bullshit, because you said that you had an entire match, you attacked Creed, cut a promo, got attacked by Hunter, and still found a way to get yourself out of the ring and walk away. And you did all that concussed.
Pro wrestling, buddy.
And muscle memory. Now you also got to remember is, after the match, so we do the thing, and it's like, when you have a concussion, it's not like you just don't remember anything. A lot of times it'll be like somebody will flip the light switch on for about 3 seconds. You get a quick glimpse of what you're supposed to do, and then somebody will shut it back off, and you'll forget everything.
Wow.
So it's, in those situations, it's more relying on your experience and just saying, okay, I know I'm supposed to do something, and just hope you get through it.
Yeah.
It's like, It's like, ask Creed, a couple other people from the locker room. I spent about 15 minutes asking what happened, because I had no idea what happened.
Dude, man, that's amazing. I sat at the bar and drank all night. It seems like you're more coherent than I was, and you're like fucking.
It's like about an hour after the show, I started the cobwebs started to clear.
Yeah.
So it's not like I got like really, really badly messed up, but I got my bell rung where I had no recollection of what was going on there for a good hour or so.
Gotcha. That's amazing, man. Well, you did great. I mean, like I said, if you never told me, I never would have known. I don't think anyone else in that audience would have. So
I'll guarantee if Jon watched that match, he could tell exactly from the point I was concussed, because I'm never a step behind on spots. I mean, my timing is usually good, and he'll be able to tell, because from a certain point on, I am about a half step behind on everything.
That's amazing, man. So Evil Gainsevil is coming to SCW. We've already talked about how the stars never aligned, so it was never a possibility of happening anywhere else beforehand. Steve, I'm gonna let you talk here for a little bit, because you're just sitting there in a weird way, just all hooded over like the weirdo sitting at lunch by himself.
Had experience.
He looks like the last virgin Jedi over there.
Well, now I got a couple questions. SCW's tag division right now is it's dry. There's one or two. So, for Evil Gainsevil, if or when, and I'm going to use that line because you may not, win those titles, are you going to be paper champions like Elite Pain? Or are you actually going to defend them? And
there has never been
make management SCW bring in tag teams that are worthy of getting title shots, not super bearded bros or Joe from down the street or some fan that, like me. Are you actually going to defend those titles against worthy opponents?
Well, the worthy opponents thing, it's, that's really not on us. Look, I know I can speak for myself, and I'm assuming John feels the same way. But what I say, about we are the most talented tag team at SCW from the day we step in there. I'm not taking anything away from a team like Elite Pain. They've been tag champions forever. They've been tag champions all over the damn area for years. But the bottom line is, when we say we're the best, we're not just talking. It's not a paper champion situation. So whoever wants to come in, and I've said it in promos across the Midwest over the last 2 years, you think I'm lying, just come prove me wrong. Show up and come prove me wrong. That's all you got to do. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When Marco and Hunter get in the ring with John and I, and when we beat Hunter and Marco, then other teams, if they want to come and challenge the Kings, they can come. We're not going to back down from anybody. We've never backed down from anybody on our own. Why would we back down together?
But if you're that good, you say you guys are, you would want to lobby management not to bring in these 4th tier, 5th tier teams. You want the best in the Midwest.
Damn right.
So, yeah. So why, as an SCW fan, been there a long time, watching them from when they were Chicago style wrestling Southland. Their tag team division has not been that great. I don't care if I get shit from the owner or not. But, you guys come in and say you're that good. I would just hate to see you guys win those titles and then they give you 4th and 5th tier teams that are in the area. Because that happens. It's happening.
Well, have you ever thought about it from a business sense? It's like, okay, Elite Pain, great wrestlers, great tag team champions. But you look at me and John. Look at how marketable we are. Why would you want to take your hottest commodity, your easiest marketing symbol, and just sit us on the shelf and bring in 4th-tier talent instead of bringing in people? It's like John takes his shirt off. Half the women in Shabans lose their mind. That's why he gets booed all the damn time. The guys are pissed off that their ladies are thinking about him. That's all it is.
Have you seen some of the women in Shabans?
You mean farm animals in Shabans?
What's that?
You mean the farm animals? I didn't know Shabans was a petting zoo.
No, I actually grew up in that town. Not a bad town.
Oh, yeah.
But
it's like, look,
I got some of you.
Steve, I'm with you. I don't.
I can pet if you want.
It's like, I don't want the 4th-tier talent. I want them to bring in the best talent. I want them to bring in everybody. Anybody and everybody. Bring me people from Florida. Bring me people from Texas, California, wherever. Because at the end of the day, we're just going to line them up, and it's going to further our claim to being exactly what we said we are, and that is the best tag team.
If I could just add on to what Aaron said, we will not and will never ever be weekend warriors. We're not guys that come in on the weekend, have a little fun, get a quick payday, and leave. This is something we want to do for a living. This is something that we have a passion for, something we have a love for, something that no one has anything that I've ever seen for, especially at SCW. And when we walk into SCW is going to be put on the map. And I pray to God that they bring in something better than a 4th, 5th, 6th tier. This goes for any wrestler out there. How are you going to be better or better yourself if you keep wrestling the same dog crap?
It's like, just a little thing. I did have a conversation with SCW management.
Hold on. I'm not talking about SCW there. I'm literally talking about wrestling in general.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to get better if you keep wrestling the same shit?
No, you're right.
Right, you're right.
But in regards to SCW, I did have a talk with SCW management earlier this week, and they are from what I've been told, they are planning on bringing in more teams to increase the level of competition there, which is great. And that's what I want to see, because I don't want to be the team that's sitting there holding the titles where, we've just beaten, Jack and John from down the street, you know what I mean, that learned how to wrestle on a mattress. I want them to bring in people. It's like, hey, they just got released. Bring me Fandango and fucking Tyler Breeze.
Ooh, that would be a fun match.
It's like me and John can take them out. It's fine.
A real fun match.
It's like, I don't care who you bring us. Bring us the Good Brothers. Bring us the Young Bucks. I don't care.
The Young Bucks will be a match too.
Well,
it's like anyone that's familiar with my history, especially Dreamwave, knows traditionally I was a tag team guy. And especially at Dreamwave, I was in the ring with some of the best tag teams in the world all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never backed down, especially in a tag team setting. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, before you have an opportunity to go for the tag team titles, which I guess real quick sidebar, John, so the next SCW show is, Steve, was it July 24th?
July 24th.
Yeah.
The day before the greatest day of the year, which is my birthday.
Oh, well, happy pre-birthday. Do you plan on being an SCW on the 24th? Or is that kind of a surprise? We'll see.
I haven't gotten a phone call.
Well,
I haven't gotten a thing, but I do know that a buddy of mine is wrestling for the heavyweight championship.
And that's kind of like what I'm curious about, is like if you're going to be there to be in the corner of Arron as he takes on JPH. Not saying that you need to be there.
You know what? Okay. I'm going to answer this question the way John Cena answered the CNN question when they asked him if he takes steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this
You're damn right. No.
I can't tell you that I have, but you'll never find out. You'll never find out that I haven't.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be there. Maybe I won't.
Now that the cat's out of the bag, it's like it hadn't been announced that I had known. It's like you just spilled the beans about JPH and myself. Thanks, guys.
No, it's been announced. We talked about it on the podcast last week. Yeah.
Oh, it hadn't been announced yet, so that's why I hadn't said it.
Oh, no. Yeah, if you listen to my podcast, like most people don't, you would have known that you were in a championship match. That was another thing too. We talked about, because a known associate of your guys' Angel is also in a title match against Paloma for the SCW Women's title.
What I said night one, or not night one, the month after I first came in, I explained exactly why I was there. It's like, I'm there. John was just being disrespected left and right. I got sick of it. John is like, he's my guy. He was my greatest find. He deserves much more than he's getting. And I said, between myself, John, and Angel, that we were going to punish all these people that these fans liked. We started with Creed beating him. But yes, I know what the result was, both when I wrestled Creed and when John wrestled Creed. But can't nobody that was sitting in a chair at either of those venues say he wasn't punished. And then the conquest, it continues in July, on July 24th, when Angel takes away that women's title from Paloma Stock. It's not what I think's going to happen. It's just destiny. It's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just I guess a dumb question to ask, but John, if Arron does end up winning the SCW Heavyweight Championship, would that ever cause a rift between you guys and maybe you want pursuing that title in the future?
In my opinion, no. He wins the Heavyweight Championship. He brings the gold to Evil Gainsevil.
Oh, and that'll open up the Genesis title for you.
Then
more gold, more money.
When we win the tag team championships, he's the heavyweight champ. That Genesis title looks pretty good on me.
Yeah. Oh, I think you and Andrews would have a great match.
I know Andrews very well.
Hey, I know for a fact they can have great matches. I booked a bunch of them.
All right. Steve, do you have any more questions?
No, I gotta go.
Okay. So leave.
We scared him away early.
No, I know it was John's pleasure to see his favorite fan, not in the wrestling setting.
It's weird.
I know. So hopefully we can do this again, guys, when I ain't got to leave early.
Oh, most definitely.
All right, Steve. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right. Take care, guys.
Leave.
All right, Steve.
I get him. All right, guys, just have a couple more questions for you, and then I can let you go about your business. So it was mentioned that Steve talked about how the tag team division has been kind of lackluster in SCW over the last couple of years. There was a surge of tag teams maybe in 2017, 2018. But I think between the ARW feud, between DWA becoming a thing, and even the pandemic, a lot of tag teams have either like split, drifted, moved on, and stuff like that. So I think you guys coming in is now the beginning of that rebuild. So how important is Evil Gainsevil to SCW? Not so much as the talent that you guys are bringing, but the concept of the tag team that is going to be there, I guess.
We're bringing something to the division that no one's ever seen before.
Like there's never been, especially in SCW, there's never been a team that could do literally. I mean, me and Jon were both baseball players. Jon, you know what the term 5-tool player is. You know what a 5-tool player is. Never has SCW has seen a team that can literally do every aspect of the business at an above average level.
Yeah.
It's like we both can talk, we both have the look, we both are strong enough, we both are fast enough, we both outthink people. There is no weakness in our game.
Okay.
And that's something SCW's never seen. And as for where we fit in with, the rebuild, as far as I'm concerned, we're the cornerstone of it. Because once we're established there, it's the onus is on other teams. You say you're the best, now you got to come and try to measure up to who is the best.
Yeah,
and that's what's going to build that division. And it started at the last show in Shaban's. I forget the name of the team right offhand, but they worked with Marco and Hunter, and they were very good.
Mm-hmm.
And they were a very good young tag team. It's they're out there. There are good teams out there right now. It's just a matter of getting them to come, getting them in the same building.
I got you, and that's also kind of like. It's going to be an interesting thing to see because the last few tag team defenses that Elite Pain had were against the kind of smaller guys. I don't want to say like cruiserweight style, but I mean compared to Hunter, a lot of people are smaller fucking dudes. But I mean you guys are probably like a step up from the rest of their competitors, where now there's a challenge for them. Right. I think even like with the wrestling. Experience and the knowledge you guys have and the athleticism you bring to the ring I think this is probably gonna be the first time in probably over a year where there's an actual threat to Elite Pain losing those titles again. So how does that mindset kind of go? Now you guys never tagged together, but you guys are well known with each other. You've had tag team experience with other people. So really going into the ring, there's not a lot of, I got to learn how to work with the guy because you guys have been close for years now.
There is no learning curve with me and Jon learning to work together. When I debuted, within 30 seconds of me being in that ring, we were hitting a double team move on Creed and putting him out like a light. It was that simple. It's not hard. When you're on the same page with somebody, you're just on the same page with somebody. It's not something you can learn. You either have it or you don't.
Gotcha. Okay. Final question, and I'm going to let you guys go. From the Power Hour interview, and it's weird to bring up another show, but fuck it. C-Red talked a lot about Mark Anthony, like his being missing from time to time and stuff like that. You guys do have a history with C-Red. You mentioned even earlier on this interview. How important is a manager in a tag team aspect, or even having a guy like C-Red? I know there's Johnny Wild, who is a well-known manager in the area. Do you guys ever see yourself needing a manager down the line, or do you guys just have the ability to handle yourselves, talk for yourselves? They may not need something like that.
Well, first of all, me and Jon never need anything. For us, it's about business. If bringing in an extra piece to the business makes the business better, that's what we do. We didn't need C-Red when he was with us with the ARC, but from a business standpoint, it made all the sense in the world. I mean, C-Red's been around 20, 30 years. The knowledge the man has, is unparalleled. Especially, I mean, look at the tag teams he's managed. The Soul Touchers and all that stuff. I mean, the man's been everywhere. But, he's with Elite Pain right now. That's on him. And, as far as, the thing with Marco not being there, this, that, and the other, you said it yourself. The SCW management hasn't brought anybody in. I'm sorry. If me and Jon are tag champions and they're not bringing anyone in to wrestle, why the hell am I going to come down?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't blame them for that. But that's what I've been trying to say in my promos at Chabance. That time is over. It is time for you to show up. It is time for you to step in the ring and face us. This is, you don't get to sit there and use the excuse of, well, there's no one to wrestle anymore. We're here.
Yeah.
It's time. And yeah, me and Marco Anthony were tag team champions in another place. Hunter Payne was involved in that group too. I know those two very well. I know better than most what those two are capable of. But I also know where their weaknesses are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know how to get under their skin. Case in point, I haven't even put my boots on in Chabance yet, and I got both of them running after me trying to get their hands on me. I haven't even put a hand on him yet.
Yeah. So that's the mind game aspect that you guys bring to the ring as well.
He's the evil genius.
Well, the only reason I asked that question is because secretly I'd like to be part of Evil Gainsevil, regardless of the fact that, I may be like Mr. 85%.
How do you think I feel? I gotta stand next to this guy in the ring.
Right. No, I'm excited to see what Evil Gainsevil, how the progression from debut tag team to SCW champion, because there's no doubt that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I know you guys are going to end up being SCW tag team champions down the line, because it seems like you guys already have that connection that you don't need to learn and adapt and grow with. It's already there. I think the understanding that, it doesn't matter who holds what title. Like, if one person holds the title, we all win, which I think is kind of a cool concept as well. And plus, you guys are real. It's not a weird gimmick to try to get over, with kids that are sitting in the front row. You guys are going to be who you are, regardless of where you're at. And I think, like I said earlier, that's something that's missing nowadays, because it's like you said, the fourth wall is down. Curtain call happened. That shit's real. And I think a lot of people are missing out on that. And to have not only you guys in there to show how the evolution of wrestling is happening, but to kind of wake up the younger talent like James Creed, VJ Price, and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think Gainsevil is a huge benefit to SCW. And this isn't me stroking your guys' ego. You don't need that. You guys know how good you are. So
just ask us.
I know, right? But it's an exciting thing. Like I said, within what your match with Creed that was March or April, right? Somewhere around there.
It was February, January, February, and March.
Okay, so within like 5 months, before you guys even step in the ring as Evil Gainsevil is changing SCW, making people talk about two divisions, a women's division and a tag team division that no one has even cared about, and you guys have flipped it upside down between you guys and Angel, within 5 months. And I think people need to notice that and not only acknowledge it, but respect that. Regardless if you're liked, if you're hated, or anything like that, there has to be that respect there. And I definitely respect you guys. And I appreciate you taking the time out doing this.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Is there anything you guys want to add, or anything, like, as far as, I don't know, I know, like, my other podcast, I do a lot of, you want to plug yourselves at the end of the show. I don't know if you guys have social media you want people to follow or anything like that, but if you want, feel free to do that now.
Go to TeePublic. The website, teepublic.com. Search for Arron Xavier. You'll find that beautiful Gainsfather shirt that John's wearing right there for sale, along with numerous other Evil Gainsevil designs that we've come up with over the last couple of years in preparation for this. And the last thing I have to say is directly to Marco Anthony and Hunter Payne. Guys, you're going to get one shot at this, because we're only going to get better. If you don't take us out the first time, you're screwed.
Oh man, the heat. All I gotta say is the heat's coming.
Mm-hmm.
The heat's coming.
Awesome. Coming off of the interview that we did, like, what have you learned about Gainsevil, and what can you expect from them at SCW?
One thing I learned is that, like they said, a lot of promoters would not let them form this team. Yeah. I don't know if it's, I'll say it. Sometimes you have local indie promoters that are wrestlers that want to be the main focus of their own show. Yeah. And sometimes that hurts your talent that you have in your locker room. they can say no, but I've seen companies where that's happened, where you knew who the promoter was. You knew he was a wrestler, champion, whatever. And there was guys who probably should have been in that main spot that weren't put in there because of clutching my top spot. And, I think Evil Gainsevil is going to be good for Southland.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be, when Jon Hudson came in by himself, Jon Hudson's a wrestler through and through. Arron Xavier is a top notch, and them two together, I'm telling you, like they said, it's going to be hell for SCW. Yeah. I truly, the asshole in me would love to see them have the Genesis, the heavyweight, the women's, and the tag. And the whole night, they just wrestle title matches. And they could do it. They literally, the way those guys are, how should I say, physically fit, they don't look like us.
No,
but they're fit.
Yeah. It takes a lot of work to look like the way I do, man. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. It's true.
Got to get up off the couch, cook the wings, get the Pepsi, the beer. It's hard.
Right.
It's a hard life.
Fun fact, I'm not sure if you know or not, but this mug could hold 2 cans of soda at once.
Nice.
Actually, could hold 3. But two things I did take away from the interview is, first off, you have a great way of maintaining professionalism, because I know your history you have with Jon Hudson. So, kudos to you on that.
Me and Jon have had, our words, and, honestly, as a fan, we've almost came to blows, because he was used to coming out there and, telling people off, and I, basically would tell him what I thought. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I give him his respect, but he can be an asshole, but you got to be an asshole to get to the top.
Absolutely. And second thing I did realize, and I mentioned it multiple times, I've mentioned it probably more times than anything else I've ever done on podcasting. I even mentioned the first show. Every tag team has a Jannetty. This tag team doesn't seem to really have that.
I honestly, not every tag team has a Jannetty.
Yeah, but
there's a long line of tag teams we can go down. That they have of course the Rockers, because they have the Jannetty. Yeah. But you're right though. I don't see them having a Jannetty.
No, and I think I think the exception to that rule is, like, if you're established and you form a tag team, I don't think that maybe it does apply then. Because it's like you said, not every tag team does. But what tag team is brand new into the business that both went off to become something and no one's the Jannetty? Because, I mean, I guess you kind of stretch it to an extent. Like, you could say Harlem Heat. Stevie Ray's the Jannetty. The Rockers. Marty Jannetty's the Jannetty.
Right.
I mean, obviously, he's the definition of it. You can look at the Steiner brothers, Rick Steiner's the Jannetty. Even like beyond their history, though.
I don't know if Rick Steiner would be a Jannetty. I watched WCW, NWA back then. I was a fan of Rick Steiner.
Yeah.
The dog-faced gremlin.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean. Scott basically got pushed more to the top company. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there are some out there, but some, like you said, with Evil Gainsevil, I don't see it.
Evil Gainsevil, to me, if I compared it to a mainstream tag team, Edge and Orton, rated RKO.
Yeah.
Two heels that come together for a common reason, and that's to take out DX, which Elite Pain is that DX. They're the Triple H and Shawn Michaels. The veterans that
Which
are
one's
still
Triple H? Which one's Triple H? Which one's Shawn Michaels? Hunter or Marco?
God, I know, right? I guess you would have to give Hunter the Michaels gimmick, but at the same time, because, I mean, the thing is, like, when it comes to Hunter and Shawn Michaels, like, I believe Shawn Michaels was over more than Triple H at that time. But Triple H is the powerhouse of the team, so I think Hunter's kind of both at that point. And nothing against Marco. I don't know Marco outside of Elite Pain. I know he has history. I mean, even Arron Xavier said he's had matches with Aaron or Marco.
Yeah, God, I can't remember the name they went by, but they tagged. So honestly, with Arron Xavier, Marco like that, that's gonna help Evil Gainsevil.
Yeah. But Evil Gainsevil does have a huge Saturday coming up for them, as Arron Xavier is going for the SCW heavyweight title. Angel's going for the SCW women's championship. Sheik and Jake Andrews are going one-on-one for the Genesis title, and we still have yet to hear anything about the tag titles being on the line. Now, obviously, Hudson still not medically cleared to wrestle.
Right.
No word on if he's going to be at SCW or not. I don't think we got a chance to ask him during the interview if that was something. I think we did ask, but
we did ask.
But
he basically said. He said, I may, in a way, roundabout way, maybe I'll be there, maybe I won't. I personally think he's going to show up.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Dissension, what is it? Dissension 8? That Dissension is SCW's WrestleMania. That's their big show of the year. And it's usually one of their better shows. They usually go all out for that show. So I could see.
Are you sure they don't go all in on it, though? I mean, come on now.
Well, that's what she said.
Boom!
But I think he'll be there in a way. He may be sitting in the crowd. Who knows?
Well, somebody who is supposed to be there from the rumor mill is there's going to be a special guest commentator at SCW. Have you heard about this?
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot to bring it up because he's really not that relevant anymore.
Okay.
He put on social media on his Facebook page that he's a commentator. And I basically say, I feel bad for the guy that he has to pimp himself out to be a commentator for SCW. I think we should start a GoFundMe for him. Yeah.
We are talking about the same person, right?
His name is Adam. I can't walk because my knee is broke. Something.
There we go. Very close. You mispronounced the word cage, but yeah.
Oh, okay, cage. I'm sorry. I just cage and my knee is broke. It's kind of.
It does. It's same syllables. Yeah, it starts out with the same letter. Totally understand where you're going with that. Yeah. But yeah. Right. So yeah, and that's another thing too that bothers me is like I get it that the dude's injured. He still wants to get back into the wrestling scene until he's healed up. But damn it, if he's not taking my fucking spot at JFW or at SCW again, it just sucks. And it's like I mentioned on the mainstream show before the split. Why is it that Terry's in there trying to take over SCW? Sentinel made a return to try to take over SCW. Keith is trying to get his spot back at SCW, and yet Travis C is not given the opportunity that everyone else is getting.
The injustice, because you're so damn good. They're afraid if they have you there, that you'll get over more than any of them have ever had.
Oh yeah.
And you're speaking of Terry and Keith and Sentinel. I think they ought to have a match where they wrestle to see who's the new president. You put Sentinel in there, John Hurt, Terry Allen, Doug Keith. They all verse each other.
John Hurt. I forgot about John Hurt. Wrinkled shirt. John Hurt.
John Hurt. There you go. There we go. Wrinkled shirt. John Hurt.
Right. Oh God, I should make John Hurt a T-shirt and see if I can find the graphics that just make wrinkles automatically show.
Wrinkled shirt, John Hurt. I like that.
Speaking of Sentinel, I don't know if you noticed or not, but what do you think of my shirt?
I like that. I seen that on TeePublic.
Right. It's available on TeePublic, TeePublic.com, just by searching JFW. I wasn't quite sure because I wanted to make a new shirt. I wanted to get the get the merchandise. I want enough merchandise for fans to have a variety. And I was like, you know what? Let me talk a little bit about Sentinel's booking. And I was like, man, fuck his booking. Boom, here we go. Stick figure humping.
I like that shirt. I like that.
It's amazing. I wore it to Steam Hollow, and I plan on wearing this quite often to a lot of wrestling shows.
So will you be attending the next Saturday or not?
My overall goal is, because I do have to work, because I don't make enough money off of here because I don't have enough people buying merchandise or signing up for Audible. But the overall goal is if I can get off work on time, and depending on the day, if it's not gross or disgusting out and everything, and I can maybe head straight to the show. I could probably get there by the time it starts. Other than that, I could probably get home, get cleaned up. I could probably make it there probably maybe 20 minutes after the bell rings. But the goal is to be there. My goal is to be at SCW. Will I be there on time? I'm not sure, but that is the goal, to do that at least. So we'll see.
Well, unlike the main show, the fans who listen to the JFW Indie show, they're going to get a good recap of what happened.
100%.
It's not going to be, I didn't watch the show. I will be there, and I will give a full recap of the show to the JFW Indie Show fans that are unable to make it or even buy the pay-per-view due to other obligations, so they know what happened. And we're going to give our opinions on the matches. May not be the nicest opinions, may not be the best, but we're going to give our opinions.
100%. And we're going to go ahead and do one more show that's going to be released this week, along with this one, obviously, as kind of a pre-SCW show. So we're going to go over the official full match card. Hopefully we get everything sent to us ready to go. And we're going to do some predictions on it and everything. And we'll also recap the other shows coming up. Like I said, like Phoenix Pro Wrestling coming up in September. ARW has a show coming up. I haven't gotten any information on that yet, but hopefully soon. But this is gonna be exciting for JFW fans, because I got the audio for our mainstream show out. The video is gonna be released by tomorrow morning. This show is gonna be released tomorrow morning, both video and audio. And then we're going to be releasing another show at the end of the week to get everyone ready for the SCW Dissension show coming up Saturday. But before we close out, I totally forgot. I gotta mention the sponsors of the show. Which I gotta teach you. I gotta teach you these plugs, man, because you gotta help me out and do these too. Unless you want to be a dally and not do it, right? Ball wash is an amazing fucking product, right? Right, everything from head to toe, from hole to pole. You know, when it comes to your sack, they have your back, Steve. I mean, one of the greatest products that they sell to date is the ball guard, and I praised that shit like the dickens on my last episode. Because I work outside and it's hot and it's gross and it's sweaty, and you start swamping it up down there in the nether regions. And the best thing for you to do is to get the ball guard, because it protects you down there. And I know you're thinking, ball guard, what the fuck is ball guard? Well, I can tell you it's a lotion, but that's just not the case. It's actually a liquid powder. And what I mean by that is you put it on your hands, you rub it together like it is a lotion, you go ahead and put it where you need to put it, and it dries just like a powder. So there's no more issues. We're getting powder all over the bathroom, on the floor, on the walls, on the sink and everything. You don't got your wife bitching at you about the mess you're making, because it's so easy to put on, apply, and it dries, and you're ready to go for the day. But beyond that, shampoos and conditioners, they got body washes, and they even got scrubbers for your body. Those nice sponges, well, they got a manly kind one, the one that really gets in there and gets the dirt off of you. You know, and for you guys who are lonely, or maybe you got some ladies who like a little fun, they have a lubricant too. That's right, not only for hygiene, but for pleasure as well. Ball wash has everything, man. It has a lot, right? And you can buy all of it, throw it in your cart, and at checkout, use the promo code FREAKNET. That's FREAKNET. Save you 15% in your entire order. It's amazing.
Nice.
I know, right?
I gotta give me some ball wash.
Yeah, you gotta get that ball guard, man. I tell you, it is a game fucking changer. A game changer. So happy for it.
Sweet.
Yeah. We're also brought to you by Audible.com, which if you're just like me and you love stories, you just don't like reading your stories yourself, Audible.com is the best place for you to go. It's a one-stop shop for all audiobooks. If you go to audibletrial.com/freaknet today, you get yourself a 30-day free trial of Audible, plus a credit to your first book purchase. That's right.
30 days?
30 days, absolutely free.
Damn.
Right?
30
and a
days.
Credit. 30 days. And a credit to your first book. You can own a book from Audible, and it won't cost you a cent. All it's going to cost you is 3 minutes to sign up. And all you got to do is go to audibletrial.com/freaknet. Sign up today. Use your 30 days worth of Audible. And you know what? If you're just not into it, you can cancel at any time. There's no obligation to continue. It's absolutely amazing.
So for 3 minutes worth of work, I get 30 days for free.
That's right. Plus a credit to your first book.
3 for 30. Work, you can't go wrong with that.
You cannot go wrong. And it doesn't cost you a dime to try it out. It's absolutely amazing. So, Steve, is there anything I'm missing as far as wrestling that we need to cover before we close up here today?
No, I'll be talking to you about our next show. There's a couple of indie companies. They're kind of more of a mainstream. I'd like to, kind of talk about a little bit more.
Yeah.
That we haven't talked about.
Okay.
I'll tell you real quick here. Warrior Wrestling that runs out of Chicago Heights.
Gotcha.
And Game Changer Wrestling. And the reason I talk about Game Changer Wrestling is because of that Nick Gage and I can't say his name, fucking Zack Ryder. That story thing they got going.
Matt Cardona.
I'm not a big there you go, Matt Cardona. I'm not a big deathmatch guy.
Yeah.
But I can say I'm going to try to watch that. So I figure next show we can really hit on that, talk about that, for the fans out there.
100%. There was something I did fail on the first show, and I think I need to correct it. And you can actually don't judge me. I kept saying Windy City Championship Wrestling, and that's not what it is.
It was Windy City
Pro Wrestling, WCPW.
Right.
So I apologize for that.
But it used to be, before it had a lawsuit with Ted Turner, it was Windy City Wrestling.
Yeah. So I want to apologize to that. We're not here to make false claims towards indie companies. I would hate.
I'm surprised I didn't catch that.
Well, I do talk pretty fast, and I jump around from topics to topics while I do podcasting. So we were probably talking about Windy City Wrestling and jump to SCW and then jump to ARW.
Right.
So I do that a lot, and it's weird because until I go back and listen to the show, I really don't know I'm doing it. And I kept saying like WCCW doesn't sound right. Like WCPW, okay, it's Windy City Pro.
WCCW was out of it was the down.
Yeah, I was like,
down here.
Yeah, it's like World Class Championship Wrestling or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So you actually said Windy City Pro Wrestling in the show, so you knew what you were talking about. I just kept saying the wrong thing. So I want to apologize for that. I don't want somebody to think that I'm saying the negative or wrong thing about their company, because that's not what we're here to do. So I'm sorry, Windy City Wrestling, Windy City Pro Wrestling. My bad. Damn it, I did it again.
I have to have that education class with you on the way to
I know, right?
Phoenix Pro on September 4th.
How am I going to have Sam on this show to talk about Windy City if I can't even get the name right?
If you can get Sam on this show, you've done a lot.
I know. I'm going to have to try. Like I said, man, like when we do this panel for Windy City, man, there's a lot of people I would love to get on it. My worry is like I'd have to cut it down to a certain number, and I would just hate to cut people out because, I mean, I was told I need to have Sam on it. I need to have Terry on it. I need Hunter on it.
Oh, no, you could probably get at least 10, 15 people on a panel. It may go for a few hours, but
that's a lot of people, brother.
Just the history and the knowledge that they can bring to that panel.
Yeah. My whole goal is like if I could get at least 5 people from different eras of Windy City, I think I'd be good.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we'll talk next week about, or not next week, later on this week actually.
Right.
About the other wrestling independent companies you want to bring up and discuss. We'll do the SCW match card and the predictions with that. And we'll see if we get a response from the Evil Gainsevil. Maybe this will open the door to allow people to interact with us. And I'm going to put this out there. If anyone out there who is a fan of SCW, Evil Gainsevil, or any independent company or something like that, if you guys have a question or a comment on what we're doing here, send it our way, and we'll talk about it on the show. We'll discuss whatever. Somebody gives us like, hey, who do you think would win in this kind of match? Or, like how do you feel about this and stuff like that? Steve has a plethora of knowledge inside that dome of his, which you can clearly see how big it is now that he doesn't have his hood on.
Yep.
Right. But we're going to open it up to the possibility of interactions with fans and stuff, especially in the independent world. And that's what we're here to do. So, Steve, you mentioned something about a closing. You said it. I don't remember it. But I'm here to, I guess, get the close. Is there anything I need to do on my end, or?
No, I'm going to close this show out tonight.
You're going to close it out. Okay.
This podcast is over the way a lot of wrestlers wish they could have been over in their career. Have a good night.
And there we go.